High school dramas are annoying as fuck. Oh wow, really? Stop the fucking presses, because this is an internet review series and my tablet negates a need for any physical paper. They've always just rubbed me the wrong way, at least the ones that try to shoehorn in a contrived premise that's been explored far too many times into a 3-act structure. I've always been more of a slice of life fan. Oftentimes, the lack of melodrama and the more low-key conflict make things more humanized and engaging for me, which is a good thing because approximately 198% of all high school anime is slice of life. And of these innumerable programs, Azumanga Daioh, a 2002 anime based off the 4-panel comic of the same name, is undoubtedly the king. Or queen, considering there are only 2 named male characters in the whole thing. I don't know, do television programs have a gender? Should that gender be determined by the sum of all the X chromosomes of the major characters? And the fuck, whatever, not important. Azumanga Daioh revolves around the lives of several teenage girls and the everyday shenanigans at their high school. And plot-wise, that's pretty much it. The story does progress in the sense that time passes and their entire high school lives are chronicled, but the show rarely uses the 3-act structure or the like. Each episode has a general theme or setting to it, i.e. sports festivals, summer vacation, New Year's celebrations, but these are mainly backdrops connecting several unrelated sketches and gags together. In fact, it's probably more akin to a sketch comedy than anything else, just one that uses the same characters and settings in each, which is a good thing considering the strongest aspect of the show is its cast. Each character has their own quirk that primarily defines them. Tomo is the energetic jerk, Yomi is the eternal straight man, Kagura is the passionate athlete, but these ultimately make for part of far richer personalities. For example, Chio is the child prodigy, who is intelligent, comes from a wealthy family, and radiates cheer and cuteness at a level not measurable by human means. Not once does she feel like an annoying attempt at an cardboard cutout Noe blob designed to be the marketable face of the show. She is an actual character, with flaws and insecurities, and the show frequently delves into the problems of having a token child character and a group of teenage friends. What makes them all so great is how they interact with one another. Each character has their own equally diverse set of relationships that allow for a versatile range of situations. A lot of the humor derives from a sense of dramatic irony. The stoic Sakaki might say a vague murmur like, "I guess he was angry," and everyone misinterprets it as she got into a fight with a gang, while the reality was a cat bit her when she tried to pet it. And almost anything involving Osaka, who is undoubtedly the most popular character on the show, hinges on the audience seeing her arriving on a train of thought, but the other characters being stranded 5 stations behind her. This all stems from the staff having great comedic timing. Well, most of the time. Sometimes the visual gag will stretch on for too long, but this is more of an artifact of its original strip format than anything else. The show gets zany quite often, expressions are frequently exaggerated, and the overall show heavily borrows absurdist concepts. But it's also incredibly consistent for a comedy anime. Many a decent show fail at rousing a constant laugh due to relying too much on the zany situations to carry weak or flat characters. As the situations in Azumanga are created solely by the characters, there is rarely a dull moment, and I can't think of a single episode that didn't have at least a few big laughs in it. Another thing I really dig is the omission of romance from the show. Bad romance subplots are one of my biggest pet peeves in high school dramas, and indeed fiction in general. Be it Janie liking Blaine when he likes Sarah, when she likes Jim when he likes John, or matchmaker plot number 27B3K, or Shy Himi-chan not being able to confess to Suzuko Senpai Sama-kun. I just can't connect to that shit. I know that to many it's considered a big part of adolescence is dating and romance, but I think an even bigger part of adolescence is lack of dating and romance. Which is why I'm really glad that over the course of the entire series does not one of the main characters ever get a boyfriend. There are a few passing references to the lack of romance, but none of the characters except for the teachers and a lesbian who has this as the main shtick seem to have any drive or interest in romance at all. The focus is on the friendships of a bunch of goofballs messing around and hanging out, which I think reflects most people's high school lives far more than any love dodecahedron ever could. I know I'm waffling on about the characterization being stronger than Halil Mitli, but these are truly some of my favorite characters ever. They feel like an actual group of close friends, instead of just a bunch of insane people who have no real reason to hang out with each other like in far too many comedies, and indeed dramas too. The more you watch them, the more endearing they become, the jokes seeming ever richer due to the personal attachment, and by the end of the show, they feel like old friends, and it's kind of melancholic to have to watch them move on. Visually, the animation is as good as it needs to be. The art style is very minimalist, and there are no moments where flashy high-budget set pieces will be thrown at you. It's not to say that it has bad animation, it's solid for its understated style. The color scheme is very subdued, especially with the backgrounds, which are sometimes just thrown away for a subtle gradient, which again is to keep the focus entirely on the characters and the comedy. The characters have natural Japanese hair colors, Chio's red hair aside, and their postures and movements are all animated in subtly different ways. And my god, could it be? An anime about cute high school girls doing nothing with almost no fan service? Holy fucking shit! God damn, I'm never gonna get that fucking eye-catch music out of my head. Musically, it's fluffy and quirky, from the oddly enjoyable opening song to the so cheesy it's good ending. The OST mainly comprises of wind, brass, and string instruments, which are only ever used to complement the comedy or just add a sense of pleasantness. The original Japanese voice cast is pretty much perfect in their delivery. From Tomo's careless energy, Sakaki's quiet murmurs, and anything said by Asaka, everyone is hilarious. In English, on the other hand, well, it might just be because I'm personally very attached to the Japanese cast, but the English voice actors are so painful to listen to that every time I accidentally play an episode in the wrong language, I nearly break my keyboard in my haste to make the terrible cacophony stop. Please, just stop it, please. Fucking Texan Osaka. Now, I know quite a few people who say they personally didn't like Azumanga, quoting the lack of any traditional plots, the absurdist scenes, and it just being boring in general. And I can see where they are coming from. The show is fluff, pure and simple. There's no massive character development, the comedy isn't rapid fire, the conflict is so low-key to be near negligible, and nothing really ever happens. But to me, that's one of the biggest reasons why I like it. It's calm and subdued, almost to the point of wistfulness, which is odd considering how exaggerated and hammy everybody acts. To me, it almost gives the feeling that what we are watching is the character's reminiscence of their adolescent years. It's like that embellished story of how you accidentally locked yourself in the boot of a car as a kid. Utterly distressing at the time, but pretty fucking hilarious years later. Azumanga Daioh's biggest strength is in its simplicity. It presents a look into the everyday lives of some of the most endearing characters I've ever seen, and does so without the use of forced drama, manipulative cliches, or perverse pleasure. With its good comedic delivery, solid presentation, and unforgettable characters, it makes for a wonderful comedy and one of my personal favorite anime. And, as one final accolade, it's probably the single greatest generator of reaction pictures to have ever existed.